That self-awareness can't be understated. That discernment cannot be understated. And that is a skill.
So many of us have given up that power to something or someone else. And I feel like we need to really learn how to take that back. Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome to the Multiverse Technology Podcast. Today's guest is Michelle Howe, founder of Empath Evolution and creator of Expansion to Joy, guiding high achievers and intuitive leaders to integrate sensitivity, wisdom, and authentic confidence. Michelle, welcome to the podcast today.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Justin.
Yeah, glad to have you. You could take our audience on your journey. Like, what is it that you went through that got you to where you are now? And then what is it that created you and how you're helping people with that?
Wow, that's a big question. So,
Yeah,
all
take
right.
us on your journey.
Let's see, my journey is first generation Italian. My parents came both from Sicily. I was born here. Nice, beautiful family, and then went back there for 5 years when I was young. Always very observant. That would be the word I would use. I've always watched people. I found people fascinating, right? And then we came back here when I was in middle school, and I went through high school, and I found myself that I'd come home and I don't know, I always had my own lane in school. I never really followed anybody. I could be friends with everybody, but I never really followed any one crowd. And I had a lot of times the people that didn't quite fit that they were all my people. They were all my people. So it was fun, but it's not that I felt different. I just looked at the world differently. I think I just had my own radar and I watched people. And I found in my high school years that I'd come home a little wired up, a little nervous, and I was overwhelmed. I'm like, I need to eat to kind of get myself back. So on purpose, I needed time to decompress. I needed time quiet. I needed time to write. So I found all these tools and I didn't think anything of it. I went to college. I went for accounting, CPA, got married, always observing, always introspective. I took the course on psychic stuff because I loved anything outside that box. I loved it, right? The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. That's me right there. And then I had 3 kids and, managing kids is managing kids. Like they're on all day, especially 2 boys and a girl. They're on. So I definitely enjoyed the time when the kids were quiet. Here's the TV. Here's nap time. Yes. Everything cooled down. So I knew managing myself that I could get overstimulated. I could feel wiped out if we did too much. So I kind of kept my life somewhat low key, always very curious, always very driven. When I turned about 40, I went through a period of time of total confusion because I know now things are orchestrated. We meet people along the way. There are situations that present themselves. And this situation that presented itself had me completely high, very happy, and then confused. Very high, very happy. And then, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Why is my life not, I usually structured my life where everything was in its own little box and everything was working. Well, Michelle was confused. So she ignored it, denied it. I got this, right? Until, things were escalating to a point where I could have really done some major damage to where my life was going. So I remember looking in the mirror and going, mind you, I didn't tell you, I actually had an eating disorder when I was younger, all part and parcel of how I coped with stress and body image and things like that. So fast forward, I'm close to 40 there and I'm managing 3 kids, a household, and I've got this high and low, this confusion. I look in the mirror and I go, all right, time out, time out, time out. Where is Michelle? Because this is a shit show. It's going to be a shit show, right? It's becoming a shit show more and more. And then I looked in the mirror just in that. I'm like, hold on. I said, who is Michelle? No joke. I'm like, how could I be 40 years old and I'm asking that question? Because all along, all along, I'm thinking I got everything figured out. But going through this experience, and it took me, I call this like a dark night of the soul because it rocked my world enough that I questioned, who are you? After all, like, how could this be presenting itself? So that started the journey. Like, you go through a dark night of the soul, you get angry, you get depressed, your life is just upside down and inside out. So I discovered a lot of things. I discovered I was naturally very empathic, very intuitive, very connected to energy. People, 30 traits of an empath. Oh, shit, I have most of those traits. What does that mean for me? That meant that people would share their deepest stories, their biggest pain, and I would listen to it. And I didn't even blink an eye, right? I didn't blink at all. I'm
They're
like,
so comfortable with you that they would tell you these things.
I didn't judge it. I was just, I didn't know why it was happening, but I've always been a very curious person who loves to learn and grow and observe. So for me, people were case studies. Like like they're telling me things, but I'm absorbing what you're about. And then I would go into certain rooms and yeah, no, I'm not going over there. That, whatever that is not for me. I would, if I presented or I did a lot of things in the business world, afterwards I would almost beeline it to the person who needed a lift. And all I have to do is start talking to them for a second, and all this stuff will come out of their mouth that they were dealing with, that they were struggling with. And so, long story short, I discovered someone who is empathic carries a very fine, beautiful energy that they have to be very protective over because it can get drained. You can feel worn out. You can take on the pain of other people. You need to be mindful of what's happening. And being an empath also meant I learned this, that whatever I'm holding in this body, whatever emotions, whatever I haven't processed, whatever I might have inherited, those emotions, those scars, it's magnified in me because I feel things to a higher level than other people feel them. And you can say, oh, just build some walls, build some walls. And yeah, I learned that we definitely need boundaries because I didn't have a boundary. I want to know what I meet someone, I go right in. It's like, not knowing. As a matter of fact, I have an example of, I met a guy. I was working at the Southside Innovation Center. It was like a incubator for entrepreneurs. And one guy came in and he was doing spray tan, body, whatever. And he was a very interesting guy, but I didn't really understand the empathy part of things, not yet, not clearly. And here's my curiosity. Here's my analysis of people. That's me, right? That's what I do. Well, I'm like, who is this specimen in front of me? And I'm bringing out the very best parts of him. And I failed to see there was some really dark, gnarly shit. Some of this, is it you just want to put on your rose gold? Are you looking for, like, I didn't grow up with gnarly darkness around me to that level. And this man was carrying it. He could hold a certain amount of playfulness, joyfulness, charisma, perhaps, right? For
Fake
me,
it.
it was intrigue. It's like just a little shield that he put on. But at one point, I think he tried to call me, and I recognized the area that came in through the phone, but it was a weekend with my kids. I'm not picking up this phone. We're busy. Right. Monday comes around and we have a meeting. And before, we do our thing, I'm coaching him. He's about to leave. He turns around. He looks at me. He goes, Michelle, next time I call you, you best pick up that phone. Said this in such a way.
What's his name? Christian Grey? Jeez.
I don't know that name, but
50
no.
Shades of Grey.
Oh, no. And I looked at him in that moment when he spoke. It happened like a flash. I felt like a dagger hit me right in the heart. I was like, what just happened to me? And that's me sensing the energetics of what happened with this person. And as soon as he left the door, it was like, I'm in so much trouble. And so much trouble. I was so open and so at ease, unaware of what was behind the scenes with this guy. So and the reason why I started Empath Evolution, because I'm like, shit, I'm like, there's a lot of people in the world that don't really understand that they're empathic, they're numbing, they're overwhelmed, they think there's something wrong with them. They're finding any and every way to shift, like how they're feeling. And so I have a message for the world. I have a role in the world. I'm like, I don't, I'm like, they need to start really understanding the power that they hold.
That's powerful. What you just told me is pretty much part of my life as well. Except for I ended up numbing it with drugs and alcohol. It was way too much, way too intense. No one ever told me or ever showed me what that was. The same feelings you had with that guy, I always have with everyone too. You just never knew it. It took me so many years to really figure out and understand that power inside, how strong it is. You know, I still am learning to harvest it, learning how powerful it is. And like we were talking earlier about like quantum physics. For me, that is my way of connecting with my energy and the other part of the world in that space, because all of that is connected to that. Because all energy you have to harvest in frequency that we're attuned to in this world. Just some of us are just attuned so much stronger than others. I feel everyone has that power, but they don't, they forgot. They forgot how to tune to it. And some of us just remember it and we feel it so deeply.
When something is visceral, when the experience is visceral, when you really are seeing more, sensing more, confused by what you're sensing, caught off guard by the gnarly that's around you, like innocence, basically, it's important to look a little bit more, to look what's going on, what what's helpful to me and what's not helpful to me. And the question for me is, who am I? Who am I being? Who am I becoming? Like, and it's all like higher level, because why would you want to stay, maybe it's fun to stay in the here and now of this activity, that activity, this happening, this show. That's all part of living, but why not step into a purpose? Why not up level your experience? Why not see the genius that's in you and turn on the light, turn it on?
Well, the part you mentioned about when you were younger, looking into the mirror, that right there is like step one that most of us are so scared to do. We can't even look at ourselves in the mirror, even let alone stand there and ask, who am I? That's so powerful.
It
Who
was a huge moment because, to be honest with you, I was behaving. I was doing things that were totally contrary to who I had defined myself to be. Like, we hang our hats on, I'm this, I'm that, right? This is the identity I have. Well, I didn't, like, we're a multifaceted diamond. There's a lot of sides to us. I had a lot of
multi-dimensional, I call it.
Yes, and we have a lot of like, there's certain things that I was naturally good at, and nobody taught me to do that. I'm like, how do I know? Like, it's easy. It's just this, it's just that. But,
Mhm.
I do a fair share of numerology because I've dabbled in a lot of different things because I'm curious. And I look at people's numbers and their life paths, and I'm like, not everybody, we're not equal to each other. We don't have the same skill, the same awareness, the same ability. It's different. And in the life and the people that are in it, they're all different. So a lot of times, we're imprinted. People tell us who we are and we believe them. Guess what? Guess what? If they don't have a vision, if they're looking at things through a very narrow lens, they don't even see who you are or what your potential is. So a lot of times with my clients, I'm like, this is what I see. They don't see it yet at all. I'm like, all you have to do is open your mouth. Let me tell you who you are. Like, this is what's here.
I
And
love that, damn.
because you're able to see that in another person, all of a sudden they start to question, to see, to look, to like it's like looking in a mirror. What's the reflection back?
They started waking up.
Yes. If someone's reflecting back what you are at a higher level, at your best, it ignites you. It makes you want to step into that more. If someone tells you how miserable and shitty and dumb, it's that, and you have to kind of take the control back. Who am I? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't take control, you'll fall for anything. People, like you said earlier, they will tell you who you are.
But yeah, some of it's not going to be pretty. And if you believe it and you go out, like, you're just
And
giving your
that's where
power
like
to
the
this person.
depression, the anger, the anxiety comes from. the not knowing, understanding, and just collapsing on your own vices. We were having this conversation a few days ago too, that doing this kind of work is what everyone needs to be doing, because all the things they're doing in their family or their businesses, and they're just like these soulless machines. They really need to question who they are and why they're doing things to really be doing fulfilling work. Like you said earlier, finding their purpose in whatever they're doing. It's very powerful.
The difference is a life that you get by in and you complain about and you may even, feel disillusioned by, and a life that gets you excited when you get up out of bed.
I have this conversation with a lot of people of jobs I've worked at, where like you're saying earlier, people would always come and talk to you and they'd feel comfortable and tell you stuff. I was always that person too. And a lot of people at jobs would just pour their hearts out. But then they tell me also though they're miserable working here. They hate doing it. And I try and help them question that. Then why are you working here? You can always have and find another job. You don't have to stay here. Oh, where it pays the bills. Or they're always making an excuse, but not understanding that everything that they're doing is a choice. How they get up, where they work, it's a choice you're making. But they've to remove that choice and giving it to somebody else to have the power over them, to give them a paycheck, not understanding.
It's not seeing their own potential. Like they don't see that there's another door. They don't see the world as full of opportunity. They see the world as, I need to safeguard myself. I need to make sure I can survive. This
Yeah.
is what I need. Like they don't see that creative side of the brain. I have an inordinate amount of ideas and I'm putting them always together, which is a little bit great, but a little bit annoying as well, because it doesn't end. I'm like, okay, is this even for me to carry out? Like you can want to set yourself up for success, but a lot of times being in that flow, being in that spirit, trusting, there's a little bit of refinement you have to do to kind of listen to where you're actually being guided instead of being overwhelmed by it, and discern the different layers of, is this for me or not for me? Where's my yes? Where's my no? That self-awareness can't be understated. That discernment cannot be understated. And that is a skill. It's a
Hey, my fellow humans, sorry to interrupt your video, but if you're looking for more ways to protect and empower your healthcare practice, we would love to help. At ITCMD, our mission is to simplify IT, boost security, and support your compliance journey with a human touch so you can focus on caring for your patients. Want to see how easy IT and cybersecurity can be? Schedule a free consult or check out our resources at iteecmd.net. Let's build a safer, stronger future together. Okay, bye.
skill.
So many of us have given up that power to something or someone else. And I feel like we need to really learn how to take that back. These conversations, I feel, they're so powerful. This goes deeper than just talking about people, their business, or their family, because we need to talk more about us as human beings, the power that we have inside of us, and to remember who we are. I use the word becoming. I like to use the word remember, to remember what's inside of us, to remember who we are, to remember where we came from, to remember what we're capable of.
Yeah.
Powerful conversation. Hold on a minute. Whew. The conversation you have with your clients. Oh my goodness.
Well, times they will come because they want to harness empathy. They want to harness intuition. They want to understand themselves. They recognize that there is emotional pain, and I will not stop. Like I'm going to go in there and take them all up and then clear them up with you. It's a companion that's helping you clear it up. And then, strengthening that boundary and helping you understand, where you're going and what you're doing so that you're not toppled over by people around you. You're not, because 90% or more of pain that we feel is self-imposed.
It's all limiting beliefs, stories we tell ourselves.
Being human is not like an easy thing because you feel like you're measured. You need to prove something. You want to be loved. You want to belong. But in the process of belonging, are you giving away your power to somebody else? What structures, what ideas are out there? Are they helping you or hindering you? Right. And I don't know. I just think that it's all such a learning thing. Even the worst stuff that happens to us, we don't end up the same when we're done with that.
No, we don't. I know for myself, I've learned accountability and taking action and understanding what that actually means. It is a skill in itself to be accountable, knowing you have a choice, and then knowing that you can create and choose a different life path. A lot of us don't, we've forgotten that. We're stuck in the matrix. And we've, like, just saying earlier about creativity. It's one of those things that, like, they kind of breathe it out of us from school when we were growing up to getting into jobs, doing what you're told, shutting up, and it's all that constant stuff. It just removes our creativity, our passion, or it takes that power away, and it just leaves us as these vessels, just like, yes, sir, okay, ma'am. And it's just like, who are you?
Well, and some people are okay with that.
I used to
They
be.
don't feel anything missing, and then there are other ones who that takes the life right out of you. We don't function, this is not like there's an inner fight going on. This is not where you're supposed to be. This is not what you're supposed to do. That eventually there's a winner and a loser. Eventually it's going to come to a head and you're going to have to do something different.
Yes. And I mean, like for myself, I had to overdose and die for me to actually understand that. And I'm hoping no one else has to do that. And like you were saying in your story earlier, there's something so profound that you went through and realized that that's what helped you shift to understand you had to do something different. We all have these existential moments in our lives that usually have to be almost like the end of the road, or this is like the rock bottom for things to really shift, or to start asking and being curious, asking questions, being
Yeah.
human again. It's crazy.
Well, and it takes also I'm a pretty direct person. I could always consider myself very smart, but in that moment, I was like, wait. I said, is there a book I haven't read? Is there what in God's green earth is going on? Like,
Mhm.
you just don't expect not to know everything. Like, now I know I don't know everything. I know what I know, and I can discern a lot of what's coming at me. But sometimes we're in the dark. We don't understand why something is here and we're fumbling. And even in that confusion of a time for me, there wasn't a lot of people that could help me.
Usually there aren't. No one understands very well.
Mm-mm. And I remember at one point, I'm like, well, I said, I'm so confused, but if I call so and so, if I call Audrey, I'm going to feel worse when I get off the phone.
Woo, girl, I hear that one.
Well, and there's only so I'm like, if you have a person that is your person, most likely that person is an empath. They're able to mirror back to you the best parts, the solutions to calm you down, able to really do something with where you're at instead of like dragging you down and making you feel worse.
Pat you on the back. It's gonna be okay.
They're able to see who you are despite the happenings, because a lot of times people will, I feel horrible. I feel this. I feel that. I'm this. I'm like the way we talk. Yes. That leads to the way we feel. Yes. Then all of a sudden we're just a bunch of thoughts and feelings and we don't feel good. Like we must not be worth anything at all. Because here are all these thoughts, here's all this proof that all of this is here. And, no one can really like change your mind. They can hold a space and tell you some wisdom. And then you got to get out of that. It does. You got to get out. I can remember at one point was so mad at my how I was so mad, when you want to stop something and you're not able to stop it because it's not time yet. There was divine timing. It's still going on. I'm like, how many times I got to tell you, this is not the way. Stop it. Like, I'm like, but the long and the short of it is that we go through things for a reason. And in the middle of it, it's not easy. And we can say, oh, let me just change my mind right now. Well, guess what? If you haven't quite gotten to where you need to be, you're not going to be able to change that. Not yet. Like there's something more. You haven't turned the corner. Like I remember, I'm smart, right? I'm intuitive, right? Well, I'm just going to do this. And I'm just going to, like, I'm like, fucking none of this is working. Just go through it. And it was a contract for me. I had to go through something. and in total opposition to who I am or what I thought I would do. I'm like, okay, if this gets me to freedom, let's go. Like, I'm going to it with my eyes open as much as I can, but it doesn't mean any of it was easy. It's just that what I learned through that was I cannot outsmart myself. This I cannot
I tried
outsmart.
that a few times. It didn't work out the best.
But at the time, you're trying to solve a problem or puzzle, and how you gonna do it? Well, I know how I'm gonna do it because I'm so smart. I'm gonna do this.
As I am so smart, SMARTE.
I know.
I love how you shared that, Carrie. It helps me understand too that for myself, I'd always be getting too caught up in the human experience. I feel a lot of us do that. We just get caught up in just the human experience of just, you have to kind of take a step back. Man, what you believe in is that your faith, your spiritual, whatever. You have to really look at it from two dualities, from your spiritual point and your human point. And the human experience is beautiful. It's amazing. But sometimes you have to really have like a bird's eye view and step back out of it for a moment and realize what you're experiencing, how you're experiencing, and what that truly is in that moment. I just learned that recently and it was hard. All of a sudden, something clicked in my mind. And I was like,
Give
whoa.
me more. Give me more. Come on.
Yeah, so there was a huge shift. This really happened probably about 3 days ago for me. So I know we were talking about quantum physics earlier. I was watching these videos talking about quantum reality and affirmations and channeling energy and stuff. But it goes deep into talk about the frequencies that we operate as human beings, and a lot of the stuff that we're taught and shown in the world is just like a smoke screen. But there's more power inside of us that we have to learn to use and channel. And one of those things I was talking about was meditation. I was like, I've tried this so many times. I can't sit still. What are you talking about? But for the first time, actually this morning, I tried some meditation and it took me so deep and something clicked in my mind and so much noise shut off. But going back to the video I was watching, it was just talking about that, how it's a process and you have to give yourself time and remove yourself from being understanding that you are human. That is fine. That's okay. But fuck your feelings. You have to remove yourself and become this spiritual being watching over your human part of you to really get a clear view and understanding that what you're experiencing is not all of what you're experiencing. It's just in that moment, and that moment doesn't last. It was really deep. I'm still trying to put those pieces together a little bit. So I'm like, wait, what? Huh? But all I can tell you is it did work though. It changed something. It shifted something. Like I haven't been the same since this morning and 3 days ago. There was
When did I
less
meet you?
noise.
When did I meet you?
3 days ago? I mean, there's possible energy shifts. I believe in that.
Listen, every person, some more than others, is going to be is contracted to come in, and they are going to be able to share and light up different parts of you.
Yes. Yes.
That's the way I look at it when I work with clients. The shifts are, I don't want to say seamless. I don't
Sometimes you don't
control them.
notice them.
No, some of it is teaching, but some of it is just the light bulb goes off in the head. I just do this. Yeah, that's how you read it. That's how you
That
shift it.
shift, that slight shift.
Yes,
Yeah. I always say we're spiritual beings having a human experience. That's
absolutely.
how I see this. And like, yeah, human experience sometimes is a lot. It's encumbersome. It's overtaking. It's overwhelming at times.
It can be, so you have to be really cognizant of where you put yourself. Ooh, what, because everything, and there's a time and a phase for everything, but when you start dancing with, hanging with, engaging with, listening to something, it becomes part of you. And, sometimes that's addictive, not a helpful thing. So you'll feel out of control because of that, or dependent on it because of that. It's each step is you're gaining your freedom. You get to figure out what you are, what you want to be, where you are. But along the way, you're going to make some shitty decisions. Okay.
Part of the human experience. I love what you were saying earlier. I've always said that people come into your lives for a reason, whether that's good or bad. But I feel we take something, whether it's intentional or not knowing, but we all
Yeah.
take something away from each other. We all have something to learn from each other.
Well, we serve as teachers and students
Yeah.
to one another, right? So you might not have anything to learn from somebody, but just in holding that space, you're learning from watching their experience.
Love how you put that. Yes. That is so true. I feel that.
Yeah, and they tell you, oh, you attract everything, right?
Yeah.
Not always consciously. A lot of times we have these situations that come our way because in some way they're supposed to happen. There's an agreement for it to happen. You're supposed to learn something or you're supposed to play a role for them to learn something. Like you can't shy away when somebody really needs a mirror right to their face. It's going to feel like a slap, but they need it, right? So instead of feeling guilty about what you're doing or not doing, or who you take up the flag. Okay, I can do this, right? Otherwise, we're not really because you'll see if there's couples that get together and they're doing this great dance together, they're having fun, and then one starts toppling over the other, and it keeps on toppling over the other, and it just keeps continuing. And that's not a healthy relationship.
You have
Now
to
it's out
hold
of
room for
balance.
both of you. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lesson on both ends, but it's going to crash and burn. Like if you can't rise to the other one, you're going to get beaten up basically. Like and there's a lesson in that. At some point it will change. You will rise up against it when you finally see that there's no other choice because you're going to
That
drown.
part right there. I feel like it seems like if you say someone's going through that, sometimes they might not always see what's going on, understand why this is happening, or they might not be there yet in their journey to wake up and realize that I need to learn from this or teach someone something or take out something from this situation. They might be like,
You're,
oh, this
you're
is happening. This is how it is, whatever, blah, 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 you know? They're not there
yeah.
yet to really start questioning so deeply.
No, and the thing is life is going so fast that you don't really see that there's a purpose to all of this. Like
Uh,
we are not with people by accident. It's not an accident. Who you choose to marry is not an accident. Who you choose as your friends is not an accident. It's all vibrational.
yes. I so agree with that, and I'm learning more about that on this journey.
And when you're not going to be with them, it's because it doesn't work anymore. The vibration shifted
Your frequencies are no longer attracted to each other. Your frequencies of now, yeah, you said it's shifted. You're here, they're here.
up or
Okay.
down, however you want to call it. It's
Yeah.
just there's times when this no longer works. And the hard part about life is that we all try to be comfortable and we
Right.
all want to be safe and controlled but you just never know. Like in my mind, you just never know what's going to be really long term. Like the only person you can really rely on is yourself.
It is true.
You got to be able to hold a certain amount of compassion and flexibility and love, pure love for what you need and what you are and where you're going, because otherwise you're just going to suffocate under all these expectations, disappointments, guilt, all of that gnarly
Stand
stuff.
for what I always say, stand for something or you fall for everything. What I mean by that is holding your own, being firm in who you know you are, what you believe, and you have to hold that as your power. And no one can ever take that away from you. No one can control you. Like it's such
Right.
a powerful thing. Like kind of what's going on in the country right now. So many people have taken their power away from themselves that anything that people say or do on social or anything, they believe it. That's truth. That's part of their timeline now.
It's complicated, but it's fun. It's not a boring world. We're not in a boring world.
So that's nothing boring about
Everyone,
it.
my gosh, if you just scroll through YouTube, you got all kinds of realities going on all at the same time. I'm like, really? Like, I don't think so. Not tonight. Like, you get to pick and choose where you want to be. And none of it is wrong. You just got to know that you're picking and choosing. And is this where you want to be?
And you feel it. You connect with it if it's true and meant to be. Sometimes
Yes.
people ignore that or they don't pay attention close enough.
They're too logical.
Yes.
Too
Perfect word for it.
logical.
I used to
Yeah.
be that guy too. I feel that. I just learned that in the past couple of weeks too. The logical mind is a hell of a fucking drug and place to be, especially on this journey of healing and energy and frequency.
Right.
It has nothing to do with logic.
No, we're actually very feeling people. All of it. Why we like someone, why we say yes to something has got, we might logically say, but for me, it's always been a feeling. My yes is a feeling. And maybe I'll say this was the right decision because of this. I'm like, I'm just going in this direction because this is the feeling. And of course, we have AI, everything we try to like, what are my goals? Where am I going? Let's be really clear. And yeah, we can do that and we should do that. We should really question things. But at the end of the day, you got to trust too what you don't understand.
Hard. That's letting go of your control. Who wants to do that? I feel
Nobody,
you. I feel you.
none of us do that. None of us. But anyway,
But
yeah,
when you learn to do that, life is so much better. You can really breathe and feel what freedom really truly feels like.
you don't have to prove, you don't have to validate, you just have to feel and trust the feeling. I think about the freedom of that.
I've been feeling it for the past couple of weeks now. It's empowering. It's
Good.
like, what is the word? Like they talk about a drug. It's intoxicating. There we go.
That's the word I was thinking of too.
Yeah.
Intoxicating. Yeah.
Like it's right there.
Also, if you get a taste or a feel for how good you can feel, you're not going to tolerate anything that doesn't meet that. Because it's like having eaten the best meal and then getting some bland thing. I'm like, no, that's not how I want to live every day. I
Like,
like this.
no, bye, Felicia. I'm good. Well, Michelle, it's been amazing having you on here. I wasn't sure where this conversation was gonna go, but I'm glad it went the way it did. Just like such wisdom and stuff in this conversation we had today. It's so powerful. Who are you, or who is any of us?
Who are you, Justin?
If people want to reach out to you and work with you, how can they find you?
Well, my website is empathevolution.com. And truly, if you want to talk to me, there's a contact form in there. My email's in there. Go for it. Reach out and let's have a conversation.
I'll put down the show notes. They can find it easier. And I have one last question I'm going to leave you in the audience with today. What does it mean to you to be a human being?
Mean to me.
Take your time.
Being a human being is about integrating. It's about awakening. It's about loving. It's about being more fully present. Like you're using a mind, like it's a consciousness whole thing. It's a big thing. Being human is a big thing. I mean, you get to really make a story, make a cake. Like this, like your whole life is before you for something. Like it's not a little something. And even for the most humble of, this person lived this life. Well, they didn't just live that life. They touched every person that came into their life all along the way. They explored, they shared, it's a growth opportunity, really. Being human is a growth opportunity. That's my answer. Final answer. It's a growth opportunity.
Are you sure? Survey says approved.
It's a growth opportunity.
I love that. I love how everyone answers that question. It provokes thought, the way you think about, to really be present in the human experience and understand what it truly means. And that's different for all of us.
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate your time today. This has been wonderful.
Thank you, Justin.